This is Show versus Business, your weekly take on pop culture from two very different perspectives with your hosts, the real Theo Harvey and Mr. Benja, coming with all the relevant info to get your week started. So, Mr. Benja, what are we covering today?
We are covering 5 awesome stories as we always do. First of all, we've got to talk about Threads, man. Meta's Threads, aka Facebook's house, just dropped their new product. It's this thing that's basically Twitter, and it's lighting the internet on fire for about the past 3 days. We'll see how long that lasts though. And Elon is pissed. So, more info on that. 2, speaking of Elon, the Tesla charger network recently made some big strides, and we got to talk about this because this could be changing up all kinds of stuff. And it's a little Elon stories, but it's worth throwing in there. All right, and for our third story, we're gonna have Mattel. They're doing live action movies. They're trying to get in on this whole thing and really putting a lot of work behind it. Dog, they have 45 movies in the works. Not all those are probably gonna see the light of day, but in some form of production, I'll tell you more later. And then number 4, we're gonna have Disney. They're in trouble. Stuff's been happening, or should I say stuff hasn't been happening, and Disney's got some work to do. So we're gonna look at that. And kind of related to Disney's woes, we're gonna single out one person and name names. Kathleen Kennedy. We have to have a talk because, yeah, the Dial of Destiny, and well, we'll get into all that. But Kathleen, we love you, but we got to talk. So that's the 5 for today, man. How does that sound?
Man, I'm loving it, boy. Let's get into it, Mr. Benja. Mr. Benja. So, what's up, man? How was your week?
Oh man, week was good because I got to tell you, last week we talked about the review of 10x is easier than 2x, and I had already been on. I'd been moving slowly towards doing more of the 80-20 focus, right?
Mhm.
Getting towards that 20%. And it's like the closer I got, I was like, well, if I do, the top 20%, what's the top 20% of that? The top 4%. Oh, baby. Right. And I started focusing in more. And that's when I mean, you remember you called me, you wanted to do something on a Sunday. And I was like, I'm sorry. I blocked off my Sundays. It's just blocked off. That was part of it. So
Mhm.
when you introduced me to that book, 10x is easier than 2x, something hit me, man. And I just started like a friend called and, hey man, haven't talked to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk to you right now either. I got this is my day where I talk to people. Bye. You know, I'll talk to you later. And stuff is happening. I just started moving stuff around kind of haphazardly and forcefully, but in the direction of that 4%. Yeah, I stopped on the AMP show because I was like, putting that energy there is cool, but it's messing up my other stuff. So I
Mhm.
gotta make sure that no matter what time I do the AMP show, once a week or whatever, that takes that takes the back seat to getting my thing on. And so yeah, I'm trying to move out of doing any service projects. Like someone says, "Hey, I'm working on this website. I need a design layout for this and that." And I'm like, "Cool. It's not the corporate thing. I'm digging it. This is what I'm having fun doing, but I need to pull away from that." And I realized that was taking up a lot of my 80%. So I'm trying to pull away from that right now. So when you introduced that book to me, it just hit at the right time, or maybe the wrong time for everybody else I'm dealing with. But it hit at the time and I was just like, yeah, we're going in.
I
We're
love it.
going 4%.
I love it, man. That's what you have to do, man. I'm the same way. I'm getting to that point. I'm starting to push back on a lot of things too. That book opened my eyes as well. If you guys didn't check it out, go check out the last podcast where we talked about that. Gave a quick book review by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. 10x is easier than 2x. And that's so true, man. It's like, you're blocking out time. Okay, this is my time. I'm gonna work on this book or this one thing that's gonna 10x my business. And now all of a sudden people come out of the woodwork. Like you mentioned, it's just like all and you know what, man? Look, this is part of the book or ebook I'm writing about this. That always happens though. Whenever you have intention, disruption follows. That means you have an intent to do something, something's always gonna push back against you. So what you have to do is push through that by getting, um, you have to get, now I'm drawing a blank now. You have to get inspiration. So
Mhm.
you got to either read a book or, talk to a friend that's going through something similar, and that pushes you to illumination where you're, inspired. So I think, once you understand that, whenever you have intention, there's always going to be disruption. It makes it easy. You don't get
Yeah.
frustrated, and I learned that from Byron Golden. So thanks, Uncle Uncle G, the other Uncle G. But anyway, so yeah, so I think, man, kudos to you, man. I'm doing the same thing, trying to block out stuff, be more intentional about my time. On my side this week, we recording this after the 4th of July holiday. I was at Disney, Orlando, and we go there once
Mhm.
a month or so. So I have tales from Disney every so often, but also took part of dance. My daughter's in dance now. She's 11 years old and she's doing these dance competitions. Funny, hilarious. Mr. Benja, have you ever been to those competitive dance type events before?
When I was young, yes.
Oh, no, don't reveal it. Were you part of it or you just there supporting someone?
No, I have done the I have the same dance.
Yes.
I forgot the song that I was dancing to. It was like this I didn't do much. Because I wasn't like a dancer type of thing, but I was just basically this dude that came out. I did a really quick tap dancing step. It
Mhm.
was it was literally just like, "Hey, we're doing this thing, da da da, clack, 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 go." And then somebody else came in and did something else. But
Nice.
that was my little, addition to this whole dance thing. And after I got off stage, the rest of the dance troupe came in, the real dancers,
Mhm.
and they had this whole Rhythm Nation thing going on. So yeah,
Ah, oh. Oh,
exactly.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, man. So, my daughter's been there all year. So we've been going to these competitions, the local regional one. So this is the national one. It's called Showstoppers, right? They've been around since 1978. Yeah, it's a thing, right? And so,
Okay.
you're seeing these groups from all over the country coming down for the holiday and just dancing their little tails off. And it's just, it's just very funny to see. And I have no idea how they score these things. I don't know who wins or who doesn't win, but I just know what I like. And, let's just say a lot of them were of a little lighter, color, and they were doing different things. Like one group came up there, little white girl group, and they did Sierra. I said, "Oh, they better bring it." They did not bring it, but they did their best. I mean, you can't have like one of the best dancers in R&B and hip hop, and not
Yeah.
have some good dancers on there. So that's neither here nor there. But the funniest thing I saw,
Heck,
and these are all little girls, right?
okay.
And up to teenage. They had a guy comp group. And so I got there, literally when I first got there, they were on stage and you thought it was the second coming of the Backstreet Boys, right? I mean, these little girls are fainting and screaming. And these guys, this pseudo faux boy band is out there
Yeah, yeah.
dancing it hips off. And I think I sent you a
So no,
video of it.
you sent me a
Picture.
clip. I saw the
And I was cracking up, and they were hitting it hard too, man. And so it was like, and I never saw any other guy groups there. They were the only ones there. So it was just, I'm sure they won all their awards.
that
But
that
yeah,
that
it was just
reminds me of
hilarious.
like, what is that? Four Town,
Four Town.
from Red Panda. You ever heard that
That's
boy
what
band?
that's what I kept singing. Never met somebody like you.
All I remember that clip that you sent me was them coming out doing the R&B walk, I was like, "What?"
Oh, man, they were getting it though, man, but, kudos to them, man. They went hard, man, and so, it's all in fun, man. Definitely Disney and dance, man. That was my weekend. Very, very interesting time.
Good stuff, good stuff. Alright. So yeah, man. Yeah, the Disney dance thing, I remember that from yeah, I didn't I'd say I didn't dance much, but I was part of a dance crew. My mother put me in just about everything every summer.
Mm,
So I went through a lot of random little, "Oh, yeah, I did that," kinda
yeah.
thing.
I didn't not have that experience, but I'm doing it for my kids, so they're gonna be like you. They're gonna be a lot different. I put my daughter in booty camp one year, especially after the pandemic year when she was at home all the time. I did a lot with them. They've been in acting class, they do camp and now, dance. My son is gonna do a basketball camp next week. So yeah, I'm that dad.
Hey, man,
I
listen.
didn't do anything, man. I literally they would just ship us out to Illinois and just rode our bikes. Look out.
Hey, which is a whole different experience, man. But no, that stuff is great. Are there any AI camps out there for kids?
I'm sure there's probably something. Maybe we'll talk about it in our threads.
You should make
Someone's
one for
coming
your
up
boy.
with something up, there's always somebody coming up with some kind of club, mastermind,
Yeah.
content. I'm sure I haven't found any, but there's a lot of coding camps, right? And then the one she did was based off of Roblox, right? Showed her how to
Yeah.
create her own world in Roblox. And then they got some Minecraft ones and have a Lego camp. So, man, dude, it's a ton of stuff. I mean, you could literally go broke, try to put kids all these different things in. It's not cheap
Yeah.
like it used to be. But yeah, I just like them being, especially now, this generation, I think, forcing them to get out and I think there's going to be two experiences. I mean, this is my theory real quick.
Okay.
You're gonna have either in-person intense experiences, or you're gonna have like, you're gonna go to, to a movie or watch something or something's gonna be high-end stuff, like a theater or like, blockbuster movie. That middle ground, like TV shows and, small movies, I don't know, man. I think it's going away.
Yeah, it's a
And this
tough.
gonna be replaced by YouTube, Instagram,
Yeah,
I
it's
even see
tough.
my kids, yeah, they don't watch TV like we used to, right? And they're
Yeah.
kinda like, to them, story? What's a story? Who cares about story?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. That's my theory.
Hey, man, that's a good theory. And when did we talk about that? We talked about that a while ago. I called it the destruction of the middle class, just the middle class of everything:
And I see
TVs,
it.
books, you know, toys. You either have this great, huge, you know, crazy thing or the cheap stuff. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
they don't I don't think they have a concept what a movie star is anymore. They don't have a concept what's a TV star. They just know what's a YouTube star or influencer now, and that's it. So,
That's right.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the mix right now. Let's start with story number one. Meta's Threads has dropped. Now, if you haven't heard about this, Threads is a new product that Zuckerberg came out with. In anything that comes out from Meta is we call it Zuckerberg came out with it, right? So, so Meta released a new product called Threads, and to say it's like Twitter is an understatement. This thing is basically Twitter. And they dropped it at a funny time, not just when, it was ready or when, a certain time of the year, the earnings call. No, they waited on Twitter to have people yelling at them the most, under fire for all their practices. And just last week, they announced that you have to have a Twitter account to view things on Twitter. Before you were able to, even without an account, you could just kind of view stuff. Now they closed that off. It's like you got to have a Twitter account and logged in if you want to view. People were like, "Hey, I can't see what's happening on Twitter. Why do I have to log in? Why do I have to create an account? Hey, what's this? Threads? What is who made Threads?" Mark Zuckerberg came in and was like, "It's crazy. Have you? I know you're on it because we talk on it already. So how are you feeling about it? What's your thoughts, real quick?"
Yeah, so I wanted, maybe you tell me how you found out about it, right? So I'm sitting there watching Sports Center doing some work. I think it was on like Thursday night or Friday, and I'm hearing about Kevin Durant. If you don't know anything about Kevin Durant on social media, let's just say he creates burner accounts all the time just to flame fans who dog him out. So yes, literally, you make $100 million a year as a NBA basketball player, and you take the time to create a Fista account so you can go after fans that talked about you. But that's a whole other conversation. So he got caught doing this on Instagram, or whatever, fake accounts. Well, come to find out, he made another fake account on Threads. And when I heard that's like, what is Threads? And then that's when I kind of looked around and then I found out about it. And I downloaded the app and I said, okay, let me try this out. I said, what is this thing? They said, I think at the time they had 50 million users already on it. And then I think as of yesterday, it was 70 million.
It's
They
hit
said,
80.
huh?
It's hit 80.
Yeah, exactly. This is the fastest. I mean, we talked about ChatGPT, how fast it got to 100 million users. This is going to get 100 million users in less than a week. I mean, that's unheard of for me. So it's just like, just exploded, man. And so, yeah, so that was one thing, just finding out about it was just hilarious to me. And then to your point, getting on it and then kind of experiencing it, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is Twitter. It's just like Twitter. And so all the people from it, but it's tied to Instagram. So I would say the great majority of Thread users who are coming over there are probably just Instagram, they're used to Instagram, so it's a little different experience for them. And I know you mentioned some things, some old school habits like, follow Fridays, things like that. Old heads like us, we remember stuff like that where these new cats are like, what's this? How do you use this thing? There's no hashtag. How do I do this? I can't promote my master class. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, it's just hilarious, man, to kind of see. But it's cool, man. It's a new thing. I think I'm digging it. I think you mentioned to me to try, doing stuff on Twitter with, your random thoughts and putting it out there. Now with this, I'm gonna, try it that way. I'm gonna use this to kind of put my random thoughts out there and see if I can get some traction with it. But like you said, I don't trust the Zuck because he is not proven to be trustworthy when he releases this. And this is the first time. I mean, this is one of their biggest hits since when I would say Instagram. When they bought Instagram, I don't. What? How about original thing that they created? I mean, quote unquote original, right? They didn't
Yeah.
buy it, they created in-house. They may have stole ideas, but they created in-house. This is the biggest hit he's had since the original Facebook, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, WhatsApp was acquired. Facebook's pretty much been the main thing. And let's see. I think the one of the biggest things well, if we talk about in terms of not individual products, but like product features or
Mhm.
maybe big changes like that, I think you're going to be looking at when Facebook groups really popped off because people were trying to
True.
figure out community and how to and and we mentioned a concept called zucking. That's basically when Zuck comes and sucks all your ideas up and puts them in a new product and colors it blue and white and calls it, something. And for those of you who know Facebook, the entirety of Zuckerberg's career has been on, hey, that looks cool. I can do it better.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, Facebook groups, no, it was around before Google Plus. So it didn't get it from Google Plus because they had the circles concept.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
forgot who they got it from. But yeah, all these concepts in Facebook they got from somebody else. And one interesting concept that's actually kind of new with this whole Facebook thing is simply how he leveraged Instagram.
Mm.
So,
To grow Thread so fast, yeah.
right. So there's no long setup process. There's no long, sign in, verify your email, upload a profile picture. You open up Threads, it's like, bruh, click this and get all your and just migrate from Instagram. And you're like, oh, okay. I won't log in with Apple. I won't log in with Google. I'll just, migrate from Instagram. That you're in. That ease of sign up is the biggest advantage and the biggest, tech play that I've seen in a while because Instagram's got what 1.2 billion
Mhm,
users,
mhm,
all that immediately. And and right off the bat, even before they have hashtags figured out, even before they have, you know, DMs figured out inside the app, they allow you to post instantly instantly cross post to Instagram.
of course.
And from Instagram, you can hit the little share button and instantly send it over to Threads. So they've already had that part figured out first. And that was the most important thing. Really interesting to me.
Yeah, but the challenge with that is what? Can't delete Threads unless you delete your Instagram account. They say you can
Um,
make it hidden. You can make it hidden, but
so you can
there is still it's so tied to your Instagram account,
right.
right? I mean, from my understanding, that you have to, kind of delete both if you want them completely gone. But now, I think you can hide it, but they're working on some kind of
So
way. But
no, this is something that was going around. What it is a because your Instagram account is used to set up your Threads account, they're linked in, they're tied together.
yeah.
And this is something that Facebook has been trying to do where they want you to have a meta account basically.
Mhm.
So whatever you use for WhatsApp, whatever you use for Facebook, whatever you use for Instagram, whatever you use for Threads, they wanted this all to be under one account. I could even take this back to some patents that were filed back in the video game industry when we were talking about, what is it called? A digital DNA where you want to
Mhm.
make a profile blueprint. So, you just log into a service and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm coming over here from Facebook. and all your information that's relevant is seeded into this platform. That was the concept, and I think Meta might be the closest to actually making it work. Now, to your point, can you get rid of Threads? It's like, well, you can deactivate your Threads account,
Yeah.
and that's like, okay, I want to delete my Facebook. Do you really want to do that? I mean, you're going to lose connections with some apps. You're going to lose this. That's the whole thing. So, do you need to do all that? I don't think so. Just deactivate your thing, and people are going to think you've deleted anyway. So, you can come back later.
Well, but it does smell of, what was it? Was it California Hotel or Hotel California?
Yeah.
You just one way in, can't get out, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, we'll try this Threads thing. Oh, but now it's tied to your Instagram now forever. And so here you go.
Yeah.
So, but that's the kind of thing, but that's the concern that people have.
Speaking of which, I forgot what website I was on. It was somebody's Shopify website because they were selling some products, and I went over there to check it out. And I saw Meta Pay.
Mhm.
There's like a Facebook payment scheme that you can do. It's now switched over to Meta Pay. I heard about it, but I hadn't actually seen it in practice. So I was like, Meta Pay. Google Pay is out there, Apple Pay is out there, Meta Pay. Why not?
Well, I mean, kudos to Zuckerberg. He's trying to, position himself. I mean, I just didn't think it was going to take off so fast. I don't think anyone did. I mean, everyone's been looking for the next Twitter
Yeah.
takeover, and he just behind everyone's back just made it happen after all the mess with the metaverse, changed his name to Meta after some little forays into AI. Now, they're back into going after Twitter. So it's kind of like, man, Zuck, what are you doing, man? So anyway, it's kind of interesting, man. Overall, the experience. I mean, are you liking the experience so far? I mean, I'll talk about my experience. I am, it's just like Twitter to me, but you're not getting a lot of that news feed crap or at least yet.
Yeah.
Also, I like the fact you can block people and they don't know, and you can unfollow people. So you can kind of be a little bit judgment, a little bit right now, at least. I'm sure eventually
Yeah.
sponsored thread is coming,
Yeah.
but you can kind of, because I was going to comment on what you say, hey, follow Fridays back. I say, what about unblock Tuesdays or something? I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
know. So we could just unblock or block Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So we can block, like matter of fact, I think Mr. B showed up on there and said, hey, I'm gonna give a car to whoever. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm done. See you later, Mr. Beast. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, what is your experience like?
I mean, it's new, so it's got that new car smell, and that's always like kind of cool. And it's clean. It's just clean because it doesn't have all the features yet. So, people are like, "Oh, this is so great. It's so clean." I'm like, "Yeah, wait until they start adding features." Especially like as you said, the sponsored post, the ads, the suggested
Coming,
post.
brother. It's coming.
Man, let me tell you, I was trying to clean up my Instagram timeline and I had it perfect, right? And then there was one of those posts where it's like a collaboration between two different accounts and they put some mess on my screen that I didn't want to see. And I was like, "Oh man, what is this? That's kind of cool." And I ended up looking at it and looking at something else. And then I was like, dang it, now my feed's messed up again. I try to keep my Instagram clean so I don't get too many cat videos.
Mm.
I don't get too many twerk videos. I don't get too many. I mean, you know how it
Are
gets.
you in that Venn diagram where twerk videos, cat videos, self help?
Yes,
You're right in the middle.
that is a cry for help, right? Cat, twerk, and self help
I'm
videos.
twerking and 10x is big. It's easier than 2x. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, got my attention, interest, desire. Let's get some action.
Ada. No, but overall, man, from a strategy standpoint, I think from a business standpoint, I think it's brilliant. I mean, fast growth. I put this on there on threads too. It's like we're seeing these, it's like accelerate so fast now. I mean, from Chat GPT, it seems like it comes out of nowhere now. And I think the distribution channels are just so open now, so fast, and
Yeah,
the social channels have been opened up. So anything that's even hot, that catches fire can catch fire so much faster than everything because everything's always faster. So that's why OpenAI ChatGPT blew up in December of last year and got to 100 million users. couple months. This one blew up in 5 days. I guarantee we're going to see another something else pop off, right? That we're
Yeah.
not going to see coming and move just as fast. Now, to your point, I think Zucker did cheat a little bit. Well, not cheat, but he took advantage of his infrastructure in place with Instagram,
Yeah.
and that helped him move so fast. Where OpenAI was more kind of like word of mouth, right? And
Yeah.
but they used Twitter. Let's be honest, they used Twitter to get the word out. Remember, people were showing all the answers that ChatGPT gave back, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at this is crazy," and so they went to go find it themselves. And so yeah, so it looks like Google, Facebook, Apple, they're gonna keep winning, man. People,
So
they're gonna keep winning.
yeah, like, and I think somebody's gonna they're gonna try the Zuck strategy with this again. They're gonna say, look, we have all these people using YouTube already. How can we automatically dump them into some new app that we're making?
Yeah.
Just automatically, because they made it too easy. It was just like, oh my gosh, here are all my followers, here are all my friends. It was just like you don't have to go to a party and then drive back and say, "Hey, everybody, come to the party."
Mhm.
You go there and everybody's there, and you're like, "Oh my god, hey everybody." That's all I
Yeah,
got.
absolutely. Apple's, big plays in search, right? They're built by search by OpenAI. So I guarantee with
Google.
YouTube, yeah, Google, excuse me. Google's being, and then also TikTok's trying to get the search, right? You
Mhm.
see the little search bar in TikTok now. So I think we may see something like that, integration of Bard more thoroughly and a little bit simpler to get access to. So, and they already, I don't know if you saw some of your Gmail stuff. They're already starting doing that now. Say, hey, you do this here, we'll do it for you. So they're just kind of gently letting you know. But another thing too, I noticed, like I can't, like my Calendly, I had it linked into my Gmail account. It's starting to block that a little bit more, and they're like trying to push their own scheduling tool. And I
See?
noticed that disappearing. People are not finding that as easy as it used to be. It's something around it doesn't show up on the calendar or something. I got to look through that, but I was reading there that people are experiencing that. They're not getting the reminders from Calendly from their Google Gmails. So stuff like that, man. It's like these guys, and I think we talked about this too, where like and also you remember Twitter was also not only was also blocking the limits of how many posts you can read at one time. Remember, because they were
Yeah.
trying to prevent these AI systems from learning. So I think that's the other thing people got to realize is like, yeah, these guys make it easy to do stuff, but it's also nefarious, not nefarious, but they're trying to leverage data so they can build up the AI systems. And so the
Yeah.
more information you can gather, that it's gonna make it more powerful in the long run. And so I think that's the other thing people are leery of. So
And
anyway, it's yeah, like I said, we'll see how this goes. I think people are gonna be on there. One last thing before we leave off this topic, but you have me in stitches. I don't know who sent this, but it's so true. I mean, you've seen these internet marketers, man. They got on this thing so fast, man. I was like, man, there's Uncle G. There's Nikki, but beyond the brand, there's Eric Tom. It's just like everybody
yeah,
came out of the woodwork, man. You just like,
yeah,
oh man, here we go.
yeah. And once again, I think Gary Vee did it the best, man. He posted like he didn't post a lot, but the post he did got like thousands of replies, and he was off in the comments of those 2 or 3 posts just replying, and I was like,
Mm,
"Doggone Gary Vee again."
the OG of this whole thing. I mean, back in the day, remember he was the first one to be on these stuff and blow it up. But now I think he's not only say he's forgotten, but it's like everybody so has knows that playbook now, and they just jump on everything and do. But you're right, he is. I think he's moving toward what more empathy. Trying to be more patient. He's trying to.
His engagement is high, relatively high. Like,
Yep.
instead of a bunch of emojis like "ha ha ha," "LOL," "true, true, true," a bunch of hundreds, he's actually got people in there talking and engaging. So I think that's where his slight pivot is coming in now.
Mhm. Then you see somebody like Mr. Beast, he's just gonna give you a car, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, come
Like
on.
I don't know if anybody actually likes him. They just kind of like think he's interesting, but at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he's the top YouTuber, so he's gonna, get the attention, I guess. It's just, you just kind of okay, we get what you're doing, man. And so it's like everybody's bearing out. And then I saw Wall Street Trapper, he did something interesting. He was like, hey guys, well, look, I'm on here, but good, I'm gonna do a live event. meet me on Old National at 6 p.m., right? So,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
so I was like, okay, that's a little different, switch. So, it's just kind of interesting to see how everybody's kind of like, everybody's trying to learn, man, and trying to figure out what's going to be the next thing. And I think what got you there before is not going to keep you there. So I think everybody's realizing that. And
Yeah.
to your point, Gary Vee is ahead of the curve there. Even Grant Cardone, he didn't really sell anything. He was just showing off him being on the boat and stuff he's
Yeah.
going to do. So I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be something to watch, and I got some ideas. I'll talk about them offline, and we'll put it together and come back on the next podcast, and you'll see how this idea has progressed.
I love it. I love it.
All right, went a little long on that one, but it's good because it's deep and juicy. On to story number 2. The Tesla charger network is kicking everybody's A. So, if you own an electric car, you know about these things called charging stations, and they're usually connected to what's called a charger network, where you have a series of places where you can go and charge your car at these charging stations. They're usually proprietary, so you have a certain type of plug that goes into your electric car that connects to the charger. And if you don't have that, you maybe get some kind of adapter that costs a whole bunch of money so you can use your Ford at this station or whatever. Now, this is a big concern for a lot of people who drive electric cars. Do you drive an electric car? I don't even know.
I do not, but I have a story about the time I rented one. So you
Okay,
want to
we'll
get
get
into this? Yeah, to do the backstory.
yeah, so Tesla now runs about jumping forward in story a little bit, Tesla basically runs about 60% of all of the charger networks. And you've got Ford, I know Ford's on the list, and a bunch of the majors are basically saying, "You know what? We give up. We're not even gonna try to have a charging network. It's just pissing off people. We're going to all use Tesla chargers in our cars, in our vehicles." That's like every phone company saying, "Screw it. We're just gonna use Apple's Lightning connector for everything. Screw it. Just screw it. Every connector, screw it. We're just gonna use Apple's connector." Now everybody's gotta pay $19 for an Apple connector. So that's basically what's happening. And I was just gonna let this story go, but we had this discussion about the billionaire mindset of making like these serious world changing, life moving, humanity forwarding things. And I got the idea. I was like, wait a minute. This is like making a claim to basically own the gas station of the future.
Mhm. No, man, great observation. I agree 100%. Let me tell a story. I had to rent a car to go down to, a funeral down in South Florida, which is about 4-hour drive from where I'm here in Tampa. So I said, oh man, let me go rent a car. The only car they had was a Tesla. I said, oh, okay. I guess, so in the back of my mind, I already knew it's okay. I got to figure out how to do, this gas thing, how we're going to get the electric, and all that. So I'm like, okay, I can make it. We'll figure it out. Man, that was the most harrowing experience I ever had in my life, man. If you're trying to drive for 4-hour drive in an electric vehicle. I'm sorry, it wasn't a Tesla, it was a Chevrolet Bolt. It was a Bolt. And so,
Okay.
number 1, so even then, trying to figure out where the next charger station was, for that 4-hour drive, because it only lasted for 2 hours for the charge initially, was harrowing, especially since if you ever driven down here in Florida, there's a place called the Alligator Alley, where basically there's no gas station or anything for the next, 50 miles. So
Yeah.
you machine or you're stuck there in dark and, in the middle of swampland. So figuring all that out. So to get in there was just a pain in the butt. So I figured it out, but I had to finally get a charger station, had to sign up for this thing and that thing, and finally got that figured out.
Wait, sign up. So you have to like open an app and
You had to open an app and get access to the app. And then once you have that, then you can, plug it into your car, the charger. But then they have different versions of the charger, right? One is fast charging, one is slow charger. And so you don't want the slow one because you'll be there for 4 hours. And the fast one, I had to park it at a Walmart. And I was like, okay, I can go to Walmart, hang for a little bit. Man, I was still there for like an hour and a half, finish it charging. It's just sitting there, man. And then there was a vehicle behind me waiting to get access to
ah,
it. So it was just a pain in the butt, man. But but on the way back, it was just as bad. What made it worse though, I didn't get back until late, so I couldn't take it to the next day, and, my daughter had a dance thing, so I had to use that vehicle that day. So me and my son were driving around. I tried to get it charged up at this one location because I was on E, didn't have enough, it took too long, so I said, "I'm just gonna get enough, and I'm gonna go to this other station." Didn't make it to the other station, literally had to get a tow truck to pick us up and drive us to the station, and it still had to wait another 2
Man.
hours to get that charged.
Oh, jeez.
It was a pain, man, and I couldn't wait to get, that vehicle back. It was like so to your point, Tesla may have it better, and then obviously if you have a Tesla, you probably get your own little charging station at the house. But man, anyone else, and there's a lot of electric vehicles now, some nice looking ones.
Mhm.
It's a pain in the butt because you really have to map out where you're going because there's not enough charges on the network. You have to understand that thoroughly, and then you have to wait. So it's not as easy as that. It was saying.
And then you wait.
Yes.
That is the worst thing that any person using a technology wants to hear.
Yeah, then you wait. Yeah. I literally I had to on the way back, I think I had to stop. I had to find a charging station in the middle of like nowhere at like 1 in the morning. I was like, "Oh, I hope this one isn't working. Oh God." And because it's, you just don't know.
What?
You're just driving the GPS. Like, oh man, I hope there's one over here. And it was like way behind this warehouse. And so thank God. I hope it works. Yeah, one
Well, some charging station thugs hanging out.
yeah. So
"Hey, bro,
anyway,
I
make
see
a
you
long
charging
story
your
short.
car."
Exactly. Make a long story short, though, kudos to Elon to think through that. I wish him well on that because only a electric vehicle, at least one that's non-Tesla, or you're even renting one if you don't own it, don't know the process. It's a lot. So
Yeah, I wonder if there are any stories of, like, people pulling up to someone's house like, "Hey, man, let me get some of that charge, bruh. I can't."
yeah, yeah. I was
Someone's
so
house,
tempted.
you
Yeah,
know?
there was they show you on the charging map. They would put you to someone's house. I was driving by. I said, "Oh, that's someone's house. I can't go
Oh, man.
there."
That's weird.
Well, fun times.
So, I don't have much more on that, and so we'll come back to this because, as I said, that's just interesting to me, that whole thing. We said it here first, gas station of the future.
Yep.
Story number 3. Mattel, the toy company, is putting out some live action movies. You thought it was just Barbie? Nah, we got more than that. We got Barbie, we got Polly Pocket, we got Uno, we got Magic 8 Ball, He-Man, and Rock'em Sock'em Robots coming. And that's only the first 7 of the 45 films that they're playing around with. What's going on? What are they doing?
Oh man, it's about that universe, baby, that Mattel universe. I mean, we saw it with Marvel,
Mhm.
DC, sputtering out, but they're trying. I mean, even Hasbro. I mean, you thought this is not the first time a toy company has even tried to get into this business with Transformers. They what 4 or 5 movies strong now. The
G.I. Joe's got 3, right?
Yep, GI Joe. So this is not even the first toy company to do this either. So it's kind of like this is nature of the beast, right? I don't know what took Mattel so long to do this. They had some powerful brands, but we talked about this on the pod before. IP, right, is driving everything.
Yeah.
Original IP is no longer existent. I mean, but if you tie it to something, Battleship. Well, who makes Battleship? Do you know?
See, that's a board game company. I believe that's Milton Bradley.
Milton Bradley. There you go. So yeah. So there it is. And then we just talked about video games, right? They're starting to become a new IP, right, with Mario Brothers. So sure, Mattel. We'll see what they do. I mean, I think this is a little bit premature until we kind of see what Barbie is their new movie coming out this summer. We'll see how well it does. It's tracking okay, but I mean, we'll talk about this later. No movie's doing really well right now in the theaters. I
Yeah.
don't know if Barbie's gonna come out the box, making $1 billion or even, a couple 100 million. But, kudos to Mattel, just like, hey, we got some IP here, man. So let's see what we can do with this.
Yeah, you mentioned Battleship, and that took me back to Clue.
Clue. That's right.
So after Clue, it's like we saw nothing. The decades later, it's like, hey, it
That
was
was
on.
actually a good movie. You remember that movie?
Yeah, yeah,
It was just like the board game. I mean, it was like comedic a little bit because it had like comedy, like Tim Curry was in it, I think, and
mhm,
the comedy. But then they had multiple endings. Remember? It's just like
yeah,
a board game.
exactly. So no, this is pretty cool though. So Mattel, I don't know why everybody's on the live action kick. Live action anime, live action toys, live action board games, video games. There's something about this live action. People want to see this Hollywood formula. I'm guessing the resurgence in this idea is coming from Marvel, seeing that they've lasted this long and they might be on their way out, depending on if they mess up phase 4 and 5 and 6, whatever, 5 and 6. We'll see how that goes. They'll pull X-Men out of their pocket and that might be their last hurrah. Anyway, so they're working on it like 45 of these, including Barney. So Barney apparently isn't going to be for kids. It's going to be with Daniel Kaluuya. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. These people are just trying stuff now. And J.J. Abrams has a Hot Wheels project that was put on the docket, but suddenly it's gone quiet. So now they're talking about a Matchbox movie. They own both of those, by the way. It's it's a strange world out there, but yeah, this is a great brand play. I think it's very interesting. I don't know how successful it's going to be, but I think it's just interesting.
Yeah, man. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, it's tale as old as time. I'm not seeing anything too interesting with, just trying to take some IP and see if they can get something out of it. So we'll see. But Mr. Benjamin, you kind of mentioned to me a little bit about like how many brands Mattel has. You think we can think of some interesting ideas around all these different brands?
Yeah, man. So, going through this list, I got a few ideas. You mind if I put them out?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay, okay. I'll put one out, then you put one
Pitch
out.
pitch
We'll
me,
get back and
pitch me.
forth.
I'm, Hollywood executive. Come on, pitch me. What you got?
Imagine the Lego movie, Zack Snyder together, and you get the Mega Blocks movie. Because we got Mega Blocks. I mean, Mattel has Mega Blocks. No need to let Lego have all the fun. Mega Blocks are older, they're cooler. I mean, they're for an edgier audience, right? So why not a Mega Blocks movie?
Okay, sure. Mega blocks. Zack Snyder, so he's gonna do like the hero shot of the block standing by itself and looking up at the block. He was alone. But now with his friends, bring all the blocks together, they can
Yes,
build the mega block.
exactly. The Mega Blocks. Yeah, they always have some weird licenses like Halo and Pokemon to make these Mega Blocks. So there's enough licensing plays to get something akin to one of the Lego movies where they had all these crazy licenses come in and actually be a part of the Lego movie. But once again, it all comes back down to the story. So I think they should do a Mega Blocks play just to say they did it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to
What you
say
got?
they did it. All right. Imagine in a world where there's a game that black folks have been playing since millennia, and it's called Uno. Imagine it's family night. You're playing with Uncle Rufus, and he cheats so bad that you end up murdering him. The Uno Mysteries, starring Michael B. Jordan, Essa Thompson, and Idris Elba as Uncle Rufus, coming to a movie theater near you.
I can imagine like dude pulling out a gun and being like, "Uno, motherfucker," and then you're like, and he's like, "What's that in your pocket?" Draw four.
How many arguments have you and your family got into over Uno, man? It's yeah, it's insane, especially when people make you, draw four, skip you, a reverse, draw four again. Oh man, that
Yeah.
makes everybody mad who plays against that. So yeah,
When
I could see.
a person has like nothing but reverses in their hands, and you're the one guy on the other end of the reverse that can't get a turn.
Well, check this out, and we're not the
Oh
only
man.
ones that thinks of this because the Uno one that they pitched here, they said the description of it, it says at is set as an action heist comedy set in Atlanta, Georgia. Hip hop scene with rapper Lil Yachty be considered for the lead role. So
Yeah.
there you go. We all
They know.
know
They know.
Uno is they know it's for the culture.
Yeah.
It's
They
for
should.
the culture.
Yeah. And I guess another cringe one I might do is American Girl. I've been through Target and accidentally walked through the American Girl aisle, and I think there's between that and that weird spirit horse, I think there's enough there to, like, get that crowd and ha if I'm looking at it from a producer point of view, I don't really have any American Girl dolls, sad to say, or any of the Spirit Horse dolls, sad to say,
Hey,
but I
do you
think
know
there's
what the
market
pit you
there.
know what the, twist on the American Girl doll is?
What's that?
Well, they pick a doll from history, and this is what a girl, used to live like, in
Right?
1800s of
Okay.
America, right? And Saturday Night Live, you go check that video out. Saturday Night Live did a skit on that. It's hilarious about, I'm from the 1800s. I had dysentery. He said, I'm 15 years old and I'm married to my uncle. So it's just like,
Okay, that idea just went from good to bad, and then, wait a minute, it's great again.
So just give you a hint, and then
Talk about it.
there's a thing where you can get the little girl to look just like you too. So it's kind of that angle. I had a friend in grad school. She loved American Doll. She had one that looked just like her. It was a little creepy.
Okay. That's all I got.
Love it, man. I love it.
Alright, oh, and by the way, Flush and Frenzy coming to a theater near you. If you want it, there's a big plastic turd on the front of the box for any of
Ah,
you who wanna know how deep this rabbit hole can go.
oh,
Flush and Frenzy,
oh
that'll
no.
be awesome. Alright, story number 4. Disney is in trouble. Theo, I heard some rumblings, I heard some concerns, but I think you have all the deets here, and you need to fill the people in. What's going on with Disney?
Well, you tell me, Mr. Benja, are we talking about any of the Disney movies that got released this summer? Have we been excited about them? Have we spoken about them? They've already released 5 already, and I think we mentioned them, but we haven't gone deep into any one of them, and that's the one of the problem.
Oh, yeah. The movie comes out and you're like, "Yeah, they released 6 movies. What are they? Hold on a second. What are they again?"
Exactly. So Ant-Man and the Wasp came out earlier, right before the holiday. Then The Little Mermaid remake, live action Elemental, which is a Pixar's, supposed to be magic Pixar movies. They tend to do well. Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny was the other one that got released. And the other one, the last one, that was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which, Marvel too, with Ant-Man and the Wasp. But so far, Ant-Man, Little Mermaid, Elemental, and of course, Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny have all underperformed. Specifically, Indiana Jones, it cost them $300 million to make that movie, and I don't think they're gonna
Jesus.
make that back. Yeah, for cost a lot of money to de-age Harrison Ford. So that's they said it cost 100. It was like 100. I think they said 100 million, or it took 100 VFX artists to de-age him. Make him look younger. So that ain't cheap. So needless to say, it's just like that's bad. Parks. I just went to the Disney parks. It's hot. Number one, this is July, but they're starting to see some slowdown, especially in Disneyland. I think Universal's taking some thunder there out in California because they have the Mario Brother Land. And so, they're seeing some slowdown there. Matter of fact, so much so that Disney never, I don't know if you remember, they shut down the Star Cruiser, Galaxy Star Cruiser, the big
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Wars experience
We
earlier
talked about
this
that
year.
last time.
Yep. And then also they're bringing back the meal plan. So that tells me, oh, so Disney don't just give you stuff, right? Unless they're like, oh, we got to bring people back. So instead of you having to pay every time you eat food, hey, family, while you're here, here's a meal plan. You can have some food on us. So please come back. So that's going to start in January.
Look,
And
come back. We
they
have
used to
we
have
have
it. They got
chicken.
so obviously
I'm sorry, meal plan just sounds funny, and it's like, we have a choice of chicken or fish or grass in case you don't eat meat.
absolutely. So they're going to do that. And then, so yeah, it just doesn't look good, man. Bob Iger came back, supposedly the concrete hero. It doesn't look good, Bob. Not at all. We got stock market was $113 in February. It's down to $89 a share.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have Disney stock is not, it was my, it was good for me, a little bit during the pandemic, things were going pretty decent for streaming, but yeah, it's not looking too good. So And plus, Bob Iger has not even announced his successor. He's supposed to be gone by next December. He's only gonna be there for 2 years. So, anyway, it's and they just got rid of their CFO. She left. They got rid of her. So, a lot of things are going on there. Mr. Benja, do you have any thoughts on, like, how Disney could be saved?
Hey, man, they talk about it, but Disney Plus, even though it's getting rid of like a lot of shows and they're having problems with that, we'll get back into that in a second. I think Disney Plus is their saving grace, and they need to really leverage that. Maybe start leveraging it in the way Mark Zuckerberg leveraged Threads. I mean, Instagram and Threads. You really need to start connecting some of this stuff. It's going to piss people off. It's going to be a little weird, but get Disney Plus in there, man. Keep that constant stream going.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had talked about this, like, can they have some kind of way where they can do merch off of Disney Plus? And I think I mentioned when I was watching The Mandalorian, they have a way that you can connect to or a certain way to get access to a merch for Mandalorian. But they probably need to do more, right? You know, how do you tie that into experiences at the park, or how do you get a exclusive here or exclusive there?
Yeah.
So I think there could be some more synergies there. Absolutely. Yeah, man. But the content, yeah, the stuff they're putting out there, I just don't think it's not resonating anymore. I mean, but I think that's also just a bigger trend line, right? With Hollywood right now. I think there's a bigger issue going on. And that now we're talking about, the WGA strike right now going on. And then we talked about the
Yeah.
actors may strike here in the next couple of days too. So
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting, but I mean, and I'm not so much even talking about content when I mentioned Disney Plus. I'm talking about that integrated connection, like you were saying. I don't know if you've ever used like location based reminders on your phone.
mhm.
So, like, whenever you step into your school, like your daughter's school or whatever, you can set a location based reminder. So when you step into school, it's like, hey, don't forget to tell principal so and so that they need to tighten up their game. It's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to speak to the principal, tighten up his game. You know, you could start doing stuff like that and make Disney Plus an app that has movies as opposed to a movie streaming app. So you could start doing all kinds of different stuff with it. Offer digital coupons that you scan at your local Target or Macy's if you buy some clothes at a Disney store. Really start to change the idea of what a streaming service means. So really get into that commerce and accessibility side of things. That's my design
But
plan.
Disney coupons, man, Disney's like, man, we don't do coupons. Disney.
Coupons. Yeah.
We're
Spe-
exclusive brand, man. You gonna
special
mess up our
offers.
yeah, special offers, yeah. You can't like Apple. Apple don't give you no coupons. I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
the brand identity, right? I think
Yeah.
Disney's like, hey, we're the premier in children's, entertainment. So you want,
Yes. Yes.
but I mean, I get what your point. I'm just trying to say,
Nevertheless, they have meal plans.
yeah.
You know,
Therefore, well, they're bringing them back. They always had them. They just bringing them back. But
give me
yeah,
some and have some more.
yeah, so I think to your point, it's something that, we're gonna see what happens in the future. So we'll see.
All right. Well, story number 5 should give us a little more light on this. And it's a little more specific from the Disney story. Basically, our our beloved friend who we want to yell at, but we just can't because she's so charming. Well, we can, but we haven't. Kathleen Kennedy is having problems. And we've stuck with her for a while, and she weathered the storm of the 2017 fan base wars over at Lucasfilm. And there's word that she might be fired soon. So, sh- I is it her time now, Theo?
I mean, we talked, I think we talked about this a year ago. If you listen to Grace and Beyond the trailer, I mean, it's not looking good, man. I mean, the weak performance of Indiana Jones, we talked about that. $300 million budget. They only made 154 million at the box office his first weekend. We've been talking about the lack of a Star Wars film and over what is almost 7 years now. And every time there's something announced, it mysteriously doesn't work out, or no one's where. Yeah, they tried to get everybody their mom, right? Patty
Yeah.
Jenkins, she was going to do something. No, the guys from Game of Thrones, they were going to do something. No, I mean, it's just like, dude,
Yeah.
can we get one Star Wars movie? The saving grace has been TV, but even that, the last season of Mandalorian was lackluster. And then Willow, the big thing too, that last, piece of content, Willow, not great Lucasfilm content, but it's content nonetheless. Not only did it get canceled, it got removed from Disney Plus. Can't even find it anymore. So it's just like, what is Lucasfilm doing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't want to, beat a dead tauntaun, but we've already gone over all this, and it's on Kathleen Kennedy's plate. So if Disney's having trouble, big corporations like Disney, what they do is they say, "Hey, why is this group over here not doing the thing they're supposed to be doing?" Well, that person's at the top. All right, get them out of here. It's just kind of that simple. That person is associated with all this bad stuff. They usually can't wiggle their way out for too long. Bad stuff is happening and you're just getting bad numbers. There may be a good explanation for it. Doesn't matter. That person needs to move on to something else.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. Yeah. So, we'll
is
see. More to come.
is
But
there anybody up to replace her? I don't even know if that's a
Dave Filoni, but he's gonna have to get paired with, business executive, kind of like
right, right,
Safran and James Gunn. But he created the whole Clone Wars universe, right? And
right,
so he's got a deep knowledge of the mythology outside of the Luke Skywalker clan, right? So,
right, right.
yeah, that's the rumors.
All right. Sound well, good for him, not for Kathleen.
So, yeah, we'll see, man.
Hey, maybe she can go do some documentaries and just live that calm, peaceful life up in Marin County.
Yeah, the rumors are, she was right with George Lucas from the very beginning. She was his assistant,
Yep.
back in the day. So, it's about that time, man.
Uh,
So anyway, Mr. Benja, was there anything
you,
else, man?
you
Was
hear
that?
that ambulance siren?
Uh,
Yeah, that was for Kathleen Kennedy. It's for her career.
All right. On that note, Mr. Benja, man, anything going on this week for you?
Oh man, this week I am refocusing. I've the book is done. I'm just putting it together now. The book is done. That's my 4% focus. So I'm looking to get all that publishing stuff worked out. That's this week. I'm happy.
Oh, love it, man. Get that book out, man. I saw it on Threads, man. It said coming soon. I love it. You got like Alex Hormozy. He's got $100 million leads. I don't know if you saw that. He's coming out. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
gonna be competing with Alex Hormozy. Good luck.
I'm gonna get a TikTok.
Anyway, nah, man. Same here, man. Just grinding, man. It's holiday, it's a little slow now for sales. So I'm trying to pump up some more stuff, get more content out there for my market. So, that's my focus but that's my 4%, grow sales. So I'm excited, man. It's a good time. Well, Mr. Benja, man, it's always a pleasure, man. We had a good time talking through this. So I think it's been good. So everyone, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment at Show versus Business on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Listen to us at Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit us on our website at Show versus Business. Mr. Benja, have a great one.
Peace.